Ever wonder how corporate executives always seem to escape financial disasters unscathed while regular investors lose everything? You're watching the same pattern play out over and over again. The wealthy get advance warning while you're left holding the bag. The Enron collapse wasn't just corporate fraud, it was a masterclass in how insiders protect themselves at your expense. Today we're going to show you exactly how some Enron executives engaged in accounting fraud and insider trading, with varying degrees of knowledge about the company's financial problems, while continuing to promote the stock publicly. Number 1. The $1.2 billion warning. Let's start with something most people never heard about: the moment Enron executives first knew they were in deep trouble. In August 2001, 3 months before the collapse, Sharon Watkins sent a memo directly to CEO Ken Lay warning that Enron would implode in a wave of accounting scandals. This wasn't some vague concern. She laid out exactly how the company was using fraudulent partnerships to hide $1.2 billion in losses. Lay's response? He didn't fix the problems. Instead, he quietly consulted with lawyers about whether Watkins could be fired for whistleblowing. While you were reading positive analyst reports about Enron's future, the CEO already knew his company was built on lies. Number 2. Jeffrey Skilling's sudden departure. In August 2001, around the same time that internal warnings about Enron's accounting practices were surfacing, Jeffrey Skilling, Enron's president and COO, suddenly announced his resignation on August 14th. His official reason? Personal reasons. While the exact timing and motivations remain debated, Skilling's departure came as Enron was facing mounting financial pressures and internal concerns about its business practices. Number 3. The insider selling spree. And that's just the beginning of the insider selling spree. Between 1999 and 2001, Enron executives sold over $1.1 billion worth of company stock, not because they needed cash, but because they knew something you didn't. Ken Lay alone sold approximately $184 million in stock, while publicly telling investors to buy and hold, creating one of the most egregious examples of insider trading in corporate history. Number 4. Your pension was locked. Now this is where it gets truly sinister. From October 29 to November 12, 2001, just weeks before Enron declared bankruptcy on December 2nd, the company imposed a blackout period on employee 401k accounts. Employees couldn't sell their Enron stock. They were literally locked out of their own retirement accounts while executives continued trading freely. Number 5. The analyst charade. Meanwhile, something even more disturbing was happening on Wall Street. Even as executives were selling, 16 of 17 analysts covering Enron maintained buy or strong buy ratings right up until the bankruptcy filing. These weren't independent opinions. They were part of a coordinated effort to keep you buying while insiders were selling. Goldman Sachs, Credit Suisse, and other major firms continued recommending Enron stock even as their own internal emails showed serious concerns about the company's accounting. You weren't just competing against other investors. You were being actively misled by the very institutions you trusted for financial advice. The game was rigged from the start. Number 6. Arthur Andersen's shredding party. The cover-up went deeper than just stock sales. Arthur Andersen, Enron's accounting firm, knew exactly what was happening because they helped create the fraudulent partnerships that hid Enron's debt. When the SEC started investigating, Andersen employees held literal shredding parties, destroying thousands of documents that would have exposed the fraud months earlier. They weren't just covering up Enron's crimes, they were covering up their own role in deceiving investors. This means that while you were making investment decisions based on audited financial statements, those statements were being deliberately falsified by the very people whose job was to ensure their accuracy. The system that was supposed to protect you was actively working against you. Number 7. The $74 billion Vanishing Act. Let's talk numbers that will make your head spin. When Enron filed for bankruptcy in December 2001, $74 billion in shareholder value simply vanished. But here's what's really mind-blowing. That money didn't just disappear into thin air. Much of it had already been extracted by executives through stock sales, bonuses, and complex financial instruments you've never heard of. While your portfolio was getting crushed, Ken Lay was still collecting his $1.3 million salary right up until the bankruptcy filing. The company was so broke it couldn't pay severance to laid-off employees, but executive compensation packages remained intact until the very end. They didn't just know the collapse was coming, they structured it to benefit themselves. Number 8. The warning signs you miss. Here's what financial experts know about major financial disasters. They rarely happen overnight. Companies like Enron showed warning signs for months or years before collapse. Inflated earnings, complex financial structures, and aggressive accounting practices. While some executives do engage in insider trading during company troubles, these disasters typically result from a complex mix of poor risk management, regulatory failures, market pressures, and sometimes fraudulent behavior, not coordinated exit strategies. Number 9. Lessons from Enron. The Enron scandal revealed critical weaknesses in corporate governance, accounting oversight, and regulatory frameworks. While not every subsequent financial crisis followed the exact same pattern, Enron highlighted recurring themes: the dangers of excessive risk-taking, lack of transparency, conflicts of interest, and regulatory gaps. These systemic vulnerabilities would resurface in different forms during later crises, though each had its own unique characteristics and causes. The Enron collapse taught us that the people running major corporations will always protect themselves first. They have access to information you'll never see, and the legal teams to help them use it. Your best defense isn't trying to beat them at their own game, it's understanding that the game exists in the first place. If this opened your eyes to how the financial system really works, hit subscribe for more stories that reveal what they don't want you to know.